orbit. Be advised, you have been identified as a known criminal. Respond immediately. Bullshit! We have a hostile in orbit.
Greetings, pilot. This is Jiro Sugiyama, head of Paradiso Security. I apologize for coming over this emergency channel, but we are in need of assistance concerning the large ship in orbit, and we value discretion in this matter. If you are willing and able, please see me as soon as possible at the main security office in Paradiso. Over and out.
Should be plenty of organic materials to harvest from this world.
Captain, do you require my assistance? Hi. Please disregard. I attempted an informal greeting, but I am dissatisfied with the results. Return soon.
We tried. No major incidents in a while. Let's hope it stays that way.
You'd think we'd be a prime target for pirates, but they know to stay away for the most part.
Welcome to Paradiso. Jiro Sugiyama at your service. Do you have a security concern, or is there something else I can help you with? Neither. We're our own private force. The Paradiso group pays top dollar for top-notch security. And I dare say we're... Honestly, it's not as exciting as you might think most of the time. More often than not, we're just... Heck, even pirates leave us alone for the most part. I think it's because some of them actually vacation here. Sloth? Ah, yes, of course. I'm glad you came. Under normal circumstances, we would not enlist outside help in this manner. But this is a matter we can't afford to worry our guests about. As such, we need to handle this discreetly. Failure on your part to do so could have severe consequences. So, before we proceed, can you swear not to discuss this with anyone else unless explicitly directed to do so? You're right. We're not. Which means we're not bound by any... In other words, it's our system and our... Great. I appreciate it. Not too long ago, a strange and enormous ship appeared. So far, doesn't seem to be hostile. It bears no discernible markings or allegiances to any man. I'm hoping that doesn't mean we're dealing with some sort of new deep space threat. Not quite. It took some time, but we received a transmission. It was all, pardon the phrasing, it sounded almost alien, like nothing anyone's heard before. Clicks, distorted groans, buzzing, really disturbing sounds. Now, one of our engineers says it could just be some busted comm equipment or incompatible signals, but we're not sure. So far, no one's disembarked from the ship. No landing craft, nothing. We don't have the staff or ships to spare, otherwise we'd dock with it and attempt to board. Can't say for sure. Looks worn, but not cobbled together like a Crimson Fleet junker. Others have been saying it's some new Varun design, a gigantic battleship with hidden armament. There's also been talk about non-human sentient life. The comms data we received might support that, but humanity's spread far and wide and no one's ever encountered anything like that. Still, first contact. Could you imagine? It is. First, see if you have more luck communicating. Whatever you do, it's important to remember to seek diplomacy with who. As soon as you have any more information, report to Oliver Campbell. He's the CEO of
Recycled air. Just isn't the same as the real thing. Here, I have something for you. I picked it up on one of our latest planetary expeditions. I'm just pleased I get to utilize some of my... Check back with me from time to time after we return. What can I help you with? Bring me anything useful? Want to see what I... So long.
Captain, greetings. Travel safely.
Stay alert. Weapons at the ready.
Remain calm. There's no reason to suspect whatever it is hostile. You're... human? Oh, pardon my ignorance. We just didn't expect to find people out here. We didn't think anyone else left Earth before us.
Imagine being cut off from humankind for that long. How terribly frightening that would be.
Perhaps we should greet our guests.
Of course. Manners. I'm Captain Diana Brackenridge. This is Security Officer Bomani Reader. And this is Dr. Mabuti da Costa, one of our elders.
A pleasure to meet you.
You've come aboard the Earth colony ship Constant. Generations ago, we set forth from the planet Earth with the mission of colonizing a new habitable world in the spirit of our ancestors nearly a millennium ago. I see. As you may have presumed, we're in a bit of a bind. Our ship has finally completed its near 200-year journey from Earth, only to find our new home seemingly colonized by... well, we don't know. Communications haven't been successful, so your arrival is fortuitous. Perhaps you'd be willing to act as a middle person between ourselves and... the others. We're not entirely sure. Our engineers believe it's possible that our technology just isn't compatible with theirs. All we hear when using them to communicate with anyone is a bunch of disturbing noise. It gave me the heebie-jeebies at first. Well, the short answer is, we didn't. It's a generation ship, which is to say that most of us lived long, happy lives on board and passed our mission down to our children. It was never intended that the original crew would make it to our destination. The goal was always the preservation of the human race above all else. Though, it would seem that was perhaps a bit presumptuous. We do. Well, sort of. We saw structures using our surveying equipment. We've also seen the various ships pass us by. Some even seemed to want to communicate, but couldn't. Of course, we had no idea that they were being piloted by other humans. Ah, your question confirms one of our recent theories. It would seem that some form of faster-than-light travel or space-bending technology was invented during our long journey. That would explain why we would find people this far out into space. I guess technology leapfrogged us at some point. Interesting. I can only imagine that our predecessors didn't believe the technology would ever work, and so they made the decision to leave when they did. Of course, we know that now. Human or not, we were still unable to communicate our intentions. As soon as we discovered them, we fully expected negotiations would be necessary. Now then, please follow me. There's much to discuss first. We'll speak more... Dr. DaCosta, you may return to your quarters if you wish.
Thank you, Captain.
I will follow you to the bridge, ma'am. For security purposes.
I do not believe we have need to fear our guest, but I'll allow it if you insist. Welcome to the Earth colony ship Constant. In the early 2100s, my ancestor, Rupert Brackenridge, researched a number of scientific scenarios: climate change, asteroid impact, nuclear war, global pandemic, and more. Each scenario showed the likelihood of an extinction-level event to be within 50 years. He fully believed Earth was destined to be rendered uninhabitable. We've always assumed that's what happened. So, he gathered the best and brightest he could find, built the Constant, and set a course for this planet here. We were told that it was the largest, most advanced ship ever constructed on Earth at the time. If you can believe, entire generations have been lived and died with the ship. It really goes to show that there are no limits to human ingenuity and perseverance.
Now that we know what's out there, things are going to be more interesting from here on out.
Just stay out of trouble.
So, I have to say, with technology this outdated, I'm amazed this vessel is able to navigate at all. It's almost like walking through a museum. Hey. Time to go?
Now that you're here, I can finally give my crew a chance at a new life. I think I'm coming up on 6 years now. I was only a teenager when my father died, passing command of the ship to me, as is tradition. Because of that, I've had to sort of learn as I go along, instead of taking years of study and apprenticeship under the prior captain. I think some people on the ship resent me for not having the level of experience as my predecessors. But at the same time, without my command, we likely wouldn't have made it here so quickly. A bit frazzled, as you can imagine. People are anxious about discovering that we're not alone, and also worried about what will come to pass. While we hope we can work out a deal with the people on the surface, they seem reluctant to reach out, so there's no... I do know that we can't afford to stay here in orbit forever. The ship was built to sustain us for many years with backup provisions just in case, but even that will come to an end eventually. Difficult is the wrong word. Our mission was to rebuild humanity on a distant world. To think that while there has always been a Brackenridge in the captain's chair, that I am the one to finally oversee our... But with this stumbling block in our path, at this final moment... Well, as I mentioned, we've been unsuccessful in communication. But since you're asking, maybe you'd be willing to be a sort of... We suspect that our equipment is In all honesty, we never expected to need to communicate with anyone, so we even attempted communicating with lights and sounds. Something we saw in an old movie, but I don't believe they picked up on it. If anything, it may have inadvertently alarmed them. I wish I could say that the satisfaction of helping others in need is sufficient, but I'm not getting that impression from you. I'm sure we can pull together some We'll do what we can to make it worthwhile. And until then, you're free to make use of whatever facilities you need on our ship. Ah, so they have a name. Paradiso. And it sounds promising that they sent you here to speak with us. You see, we intended to settle here, but we assumed that they intend to defend their claim given their presence here. We'd like you to go speak to them on our behalf and help us negotiate a solution, preferably one that favors us. Based on the data our ancestors had when they launched this endeavor, it was determined that this was the perfect planet for us. Even if we had another viable candidate planet, we lack the resource. Our people have no desire to go back to drifting the stars so their children's children can... When we left Earth, there were no claims to planets. We had assumed that we were the only ones attempting a generational journey such as this, meaning that there would be no need for a formal claims... Regardless, my ancestor, Rupert Brackenridge, did manage to file a charter for this planet's first According to his records, no one took it seriously when he filed it, so likely it was either... Given humanity's lack of interest in colonizing the far reaches of... Yes, of course. But we need to start from a... If need be, we can... compromise, work out... But initially, I'd like you to be firm with them and convince them to leave the planet to us. Let me know how they respond, and we'll go from there. We thought about it, but it simply won't do. I need to... Sure, our first settlement may be small, but our predecessors dreamt of our new civilization spreading across the globe. That will be difficult if someone else plans to do the same. While we're not completely close to the idea of sharing, it's much easier if we have complete domain over this. Now, it makes little sense to give up before you try. Thank you, and good luck.
Careful waving that fancy gun around. We don't need to see what it can do. The Constant is a peaceful ship. Don't change it.
We got strict rules around here, but they're strict for a reason.
Never seen a ship like yours before. Then again, I haven't seen any ships before.
Slates that I've read. Oh, I feel I should know who this person is, but somehow it's escaped my memory.
We were never trained to address threats coming from outside our ship.
My mom and dad were scared when he came on board, but I don't know why. You seem okay. You're less weird than I thought you would be.
Hello there. Given that I don't know you, you must be this visitor I've been hearing. So, I'm Julia, the Constant's chief historian. If you ask around, people will either tell you my job is absolutely critical to the mission. There's more to it than that. Generations ago, it used to be lawkeeper of humanity. While I don't think my job is as important as captain, engineering officer, or cultivation manager, thanks for saying so. As chief historian, I can tell. We're the descendants of wealthy elites, intellectuals, artists, scientists, and others who left Earth in 2040 to spread humanity to the stars. The thinking was that Earth's days were numbered for a variety of reasons. Our finder, Rupert Brackenridge, had the foresight to plan for the worst. Thus, he constructed this colony ship to settle what seemed like the most habitable planet we could find, knowing full well it would take generations to reach. We suspected that we may have been the only ones to leave Earth, given that no one else seemed to have the same idea. I'm glad we appear to be wrong. Well, we launched Tuesday, September 27th, 2140. So, about 190 years now. Would have been longer, but it turns out we have an ace navigator who saved us some time with some tricky maneuvers. ECS stands for Earth Colony Ship. We wanted a fairly inclusive name to represent the planet, and not a particular nation of origin. There was an old colony ship that sailed across the oceans of Earth from a country called England to settle on a new continent. It was called either the Susan or Sarah Constant. No one seems to know for sure. So ours was shortened to just Constant. Ironically enough, that ship also reached what they thought was new land, and found it populated when they arrived. As chief historian, I can tell you a lot, probably. What do you want to know? You know where to find me if you ever... I hope you'll come back. There's so much to learn.
Hey, Miss Julia? Can we watch that movie with all the superheroes in it again?
We'll see. We have a lot of movies to get through, but maybe...
I heard you came from outside the ship. I bet it was pretty cold out there.
Really? Yeah! Hey, everyone! Miss Julia said we could watch it again!
And then maybe we can watch one of the sequels some other time.
More of them? Oh, I'm so excited I can plot! That's what Mr. Abe says sometimes. He's
Anyway, I think you still have some more schoolwork to do.
Just because our equipment's old doesn't mean it won't work to take down troublemakers.
It's almost time to take inventory of our stock again. Hi there. Nice to meet you. And that's true. As you can imagine, everyone kind of just knows each other around here. Meeting new people isn't really a thing for us. Yeah, I know. It's funny, though. All our lives, nothing could prepare us for this. We were born into a universe where we legitimately thought we were the only people in existence. Anyway, sorry for freezing up before. I just didn't expect our visitor from the outside to stop by and chat with me. I'm Daisuke, the ship's provisions manager. I'm not sure what I can offer you, but if I can help, I will. And if not, I'm happy just to talk. We manage. I know back on Earth, there used to be stores all over the place. Some that even specialize in specific types of goods, if you can imagine. But here, this is it. We have very limited supplies. Most of our stuff is recycled. Even the food. In a roundabout way. If you know what I mean. It works out for the most part. Because it has to. You'll sense a running theme with that around here. Not really. Things don't work that way here. It's not a shop like you hear about in the books and movies. Or, where you're probably from. Almost everything is communal or shared in some way, but sometimes people want a little something extra or special for themselves. So when that happens, they come to me. Mostly, I just keep track of the ship's inventory and help ration the supplies so we don't run out. Take care.
It's like out there beyond our little community.
Hi there. Keeping track of all our supplies is more difficult than I think.
Sure is nice to know there are other people out there.
Ones out here.
Really? I always knew it couldn't be true. Boy, am I glad you weren't some sort of... There's so much more to learn about now.
People always appreciate it, whether they know it or not.
Did we never see someone? No, that was definitely you and you. Definitely said that. I remember.
Yeah, okay, fine. You're right, but... Anyway, I'm glad I was wrong then. I've lived my entire life in constant... Sure.
Hydroponics, of course. This must be how the colony ship kept itself fed over all these years in space.
We were never trained to address threats coming from outside our ship.
Sometimes, difficult choices must be made. We did what we believed we needed to do to keep humanity alive on this ship. Wait, how is it I don't know? Oh, they sent my husband, Mabuti, to... It's quite fortunate that you are... I hope you do. A lot of us are counting on getting... Nothing. None. As one of the eldest on board, he was ready to volunteer for termination. But thanks to your arrival...
Excuse me? Volunteer for termination?
It means that he was going to volunteer his own life for the sake of the others on this ship. Due to limited space, like the others, his life would then be honored with special distinction and recorded for history. Rarely we had to make difficult choices when no one would volunteer. But Mabu...
I should certainly hope. Goodbye.
Let's see. It may be minor, but... Not a worry. Goodbye.
Great. I'm traveling with a criminal. I'm listening. Have something for me? Maybe another time.
Hey! And to think, all this time we thought we were alone.
Any idea how much longer until we can get down to the surface?
Well, it's tricky. We've got top people working on it as we speak. Huh? I know you're anxious. We all know. Not what you wanted to hear, but as soon as I know something...
These are exciting times, aren't they?
Wow! I've heard about you, but here you are.
I wonder what else is out there.
Just because our equipment's old, doesn't mean it won't work to take down troublemakers.
Just stay out of trouble.
Now that we know what's out there, things are gonna be more interesting.
You sure it's safe out there?
Mr. Tofik, I am aware that this is your 8th visit to our resort. Your repeat patronage is much appreciated. It is my sincerest wish that this humble robot servant has brightened your day. If I have failed in any way, please know that I am dreadfully sorry.
But this time, our entries seem to take longer, and we pass by a lot more open water. Is there something wrong with our normal flight path? I heard the rumors of a ship in orbit. Hey, I noticed you arriving at port shortly after I did. They told us there was a very active meteor shower.
Please allow me to apologize for this inconvenience. This alternate entry was required due to a meteor shower affecting the usual descent route. Nothing to worry about. To make up for this, allow me to
I should just relax.
15% discount on spa amenities. Once again, we are dreadfully sorry.
Enjoy your stay, knowing you're in our capable hands.
I'm on vacation.
Oh, this looks like a lovely place for a stay. Might also be the perfect time to stop for some food or a tranquility. Where should we begin?
I'm here to satisfy your needs. I hope your stay is a
Paradiso
pleasant
board
one.
is busy in a meeting. You can always count on me to relay your message. Between you and me, I'm kinda glad most of the execs never show up to work.
Every day's nice around here, but I think you caught us at one of the nicest.
Excuse me, you can't just waltz in there. Do you have an appointment? Oh, you're the one they're waiting for then. What I could tell you would get me in a lot of most of them are typical sea-level execs. I doubt you even need to use your imagination for that. I swear, I've never even met some of them, because they chill at their own private, secluded beach homes. Anyway, be smart around Oliver. People were a little freaked out around, but then nothing happened. And we've been very careful not to alert the resort guests. The board... I can't speak for anyone else, but I've got a pretty... You can imagine. But it pays well. Sure.
I just feel that we should be focusing on the natural beauty of this planet, not our amenities.
There are millions of planets out there. People can go to any one of them. The resort facilities are precisely what we bring to the table. Heck, it's the only thing we've really got to offer.
Hello? I didn't realize Kiwi was letting people in here. Not quite. We just don't answer to the Freestar Collective. Makes things easier. We don't pay any tax. And no one minds, because half the politicians and other big shots... We, the Paradiso Group, bought the rights to this planet years ago with... As such, no other leisure enterprises may operate on the planet without renting land from us. But as you can see... No, of course not. There's several more. We're just the one... The others spend their time lazing on the beach. Doesn't bother me, though. Less cooks in the kitchen means I get to... I am. And you must be the... diplomat Jiro told me about. Welcome, welcome. Normally I'd offer you an all-inclusive stay at our resort before we... But given the circumstances, I'm gonna cut to the chase. We've got our friends, the aliens, up there. You like that? The marketing team came up with it. The thought is, if we can't get rid of them, it might actually attract more tourism. Come see the aliens! We run a premier resort getaway here. We can't have our guests concocting stories about some bodgy old ship hanging around up there. As it is, we've had to reroute our luxury liners round the other side of the planet on entry so no one sees it. It's bad for business. We need to nip this in the bud and take care of it before the tourists catch on and cause a scene. We run a premier resort getaway here. We can't have our guests concocting stories about some bodgy old ship hanging around up there. As it is, we've had to reroute our luxury liners round the other side of the planet on entry so no one sees it. It's bad for business. We need to nip this in the bud and take care of it before the tour. Despicable? Hardly. Just a backup plan in case we can't get them to leave. But you're right, no one's gonna buy aliens. Remind me to fire the marketing team. So tell me, what's the actual deal with this mass? Are we talking or not? Well, that's something. Shame we can't just tell them kindly to bugger off. Something tells me that's not going to work. Now, tell me, what are we going to do about it? Give me some proposals, people. I need something to work with here.
We could offer to resettle them here. There's more than enough space.
They could stay here, temporarily, but it'll cost them. Quite a bit, too. They'd need to work off all their debts before being allowed to leave.
Maybe not. What if we help them get out of here? Outfit their ship with a grav drive so they can find a new home. We could even lend our engineers to help and give their captain an updated star map. What do you think?
Sounds costly. We can't absorb that cost, and it's unlikely they even have compatible currency, let alone enough for the transaction. Someone else would have to foot the bill.
Oh, I swear this would be a lot easier if they ceased to exist entirely. Anyway, Seema's got the right idea. Either works for me. Just tell me what you want to do. No worries, mate, but my time is valuable. We own this planet, they don't. Here at Paradiso, we don't like leaving things to chance. Who knows what these people will do with their Imagine the landscaping disasters they may come up with. No. Mud. And that's within your right. But as the CEO... So, as much as I appreciate... We operate outside of the Free Stars only use, and we'd rather not draw attention. It's not our responsibility to be... We're being more than... A custom grave drive can't come cheap, and I assume they have neither the monetary means nor... That leaves the only other party in this nigga. Oh, I need to say that specifically. This would be a mutual contract for room and board in exchange for services rendered. Of course, there's no telling how long this arrangement will last, given the substantial costs we'd need to take on in order to accommodate them here, including their continued room and board. But this may save the resort on operating costs in the long term, as we'd be able to let go of some of our current paid staff. I'm not suggesting anything, other than it would... Oh, I need to say that specifically. This would be a mutual contract for... Of course, there's no telling how long this arrangement will last, given the substantial costs we'd need to take on in order to accommodate them here, including their continued room and board. But this may save the resort on operating costs in the long term, as we'd be able to let go of some of our current paid staff. And which proposal will you be taking to the good captain? I assume there's a captain? They'd be hard-pressed to defend their claim in any courts. Our charter goes back years. It was registered with both the UC and Free. We may be outside the settled systems. I'm sorry, but you're going to need to be the one to break the news to them that they need to make a compromise or leave. Ah, good on you. You want to see a man named Benny St. James over at Hope Tech. He's the best in the business. If anyone can retrofit a 200-year-old ship with a modern grav drive, it'd be him.
I know this was a difficult decision. But if it's any consolation, I think you've made the right choice. Compared to the destruction of their vessel and relegating them to a life of servitude, I'd say this...
Right. On behalf of the Paradis...
If you've heard about us elsewhere, chances are it's because of me. I don't want to risk us coming off as just another...
Well,
What's
right.
not to love about this planet? Thank you.
Your safety is our #1 priority.
Hello.
Let's get this crate into space.
contraband. Welcome to the den. If you have business, feel free to land.
I'll only carry the... Bye-bye.
Good day, Captain. I will accept any... I am relieved. Goodbye, Captain.
You should inspect your ship for heat.
Well, this station's seen better days. I wonder if the UC will ever fully restore it to its former glory.
restart collective space. Hold while we scan your ship. Got you on comms? Just trying to stay one step ahead of the Crimson Fleet. All right, just...
Captain, hello. I am satisfied to see that you survived your most recent sleep cycle.
Please don't tell me you're going to eat that. I wonder if this is a man-made cave or a natural formation.
Greetings, Captain.